Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kazmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Anti-illegal mining coalition demands swift action against directors of Akonta Mining Company for alleged illegal mining activities in the Tano Nimimre Forest Reserve. But the firm says the accusations are politically motivated. Also coming up on the program, Health Minister Kwabena Mintah Kando clashes with the senior staff of Tamale Teaching Hospital over poor service delivery as he embarks on a surprise visit to health facilities. And much later on the program, ECOWAS leaders converge in Accra to unveil the 50th anniversary of the regional bloc. We're live with details of happenings at the event shortly. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Now, pressure is mounting on the government to take strong action against Akonta Mining Company Limited for alleged illegal mining in the Tano Nimimre Forest Reserve. Lands and Natural Resources Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua announced the immediate revocation of all the company's mining licenses due to, quote-unquote, overwhelming evidence of illegal operations and criminal syndication. Although Akonta Mining was legally permitted to mine off reserve, investigations revealed serious violations, including illegal mining in protected forest reserves. The company is accused of arranging illegal subleases in exchange for weekly gold royalties. The scandal also implicates Forestry Commission officials and security personnel in facilitating these activities.
One of the most egregious cases we have uncovered involves Akonta Mining Company Limited, a company legally registered and granted a government lease to mine responsibly off reserve outside the forest. Your company, however, does not possess an entry permit into the forest reserve of the Samraboy Enclave of the Western North region. Yet, investigations reveal that Akonta Mining has flagrantly abused this lease. In August, as you recall, in August 2022, the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the Ghana Police, made some arrests of persons associated with Akonta Mining, encroaching on the forest reserves, specifically Compact 161. The docket was supposedly transferred to Accra for further action, and yet nothing was heard of it. This company has not only trespassed into protected reserves, but has become a criminal syndicate, selling assets of the Aboye Forest Reserve to illegal miners for a staggering 300,000 Ghana cedi per concession. Worse, these illegal miners operate under Akonta's protection, devastating the river Tano and surrounding forests with impunity. They have encroached compartments 49, Compartment 121 of the Tano Nimimre Forest Reserve. We gathered a team of investigators to go undercover to make inquiries about the details of these operations. Our undercover team uncovered the well-oiled machinery of destruction.
And you heard the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofibua. Martin Pegbu, one of the individuals who previously petitioned for the arrest of the director of Akonta Mining, Chairman Wontumi, has welcomed the revocation of mining lease of Akonta. He's however urging authorities to prosecute the company's directors and agents.
Amakofibua should be commended for finally taking that bold step. Even the revocation of the mining lease law in itself is far-reaching, but let the prosecutions flow. Because if we set an example of Chairman Wontumi, it will send a chilling effect to the other people, because then it appears Wontumi is invincible. Yes, Untumi appears invincible. He's even threatened us in other rejoinders, telling us that we should be careful. He will sue us, etc. Now we'll see who's going to sue the other person. So we commend Ama Kufibua, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, to and encourage him to go the 9 yards, make sure that the investigations lead to a criminal prosecution.
Given that the minister in his address makes the point that this time around they are targeting the financiers or the big people behind the operations, are you surprised that as of now we have not been informed that he, for instance, or any of the directors connected to the company have been arrested?
Well, I would say I want to hasten a bit slowly. At least he's just informed us that these are the results of the investigations, and he's asked for the revocation. You see, even the statement from the minister alone, that statement alone, all things being equal, is very far-reaching.
You have the private legal practitioner Martin Kwegbu, and let me say that we have Daryl Bosu, who is Deputy Director of Arusha, Ghana. He's on the line. We'll be speaking to him very shortly, but ahead of that, the Akonta Mining Company has strongly rejected allegations of illegal mining in the Tano Mimre Forest Reserve, dismissing the minister's claims as, quote, reckless, baseless, and politically motivated, unquote. The company insists it operates legally in approved areas, Samriboy and Abo Kwase, and has never mined in the forest reserve, noting its 2022 request for access was denied. In a statement, the company also denied receiving 350,000 Ghana cedis from illegal miners, calling the claim false and defamatory, while denying any ties to any alleged accomplices. Akonta also said that it will cooperate with investigations, but demanded fairness, accusing the minister of prejudgment and violating due process. In a related development, the Inspector General of Police, Christian Teteyonu, has reshuffled 34 police commanders in Galamsey-prone areas in keeping with his promise to wage a relentless war on illegal mining activities in the country. Police sources have confirmed that this was just the first phase of an ongoing major reshuffle exercise, with many more expected to follow to pump fresh energy into the fight against illegal mining in the company. The affected commands include Takrade, Asankregwa and Takwa, all in the western region, in Karie and Bekwai in the Ashanti region, and Nyinem and in Sawem in the eastern region. Noble Crosby-Annan has details of these transfers. He joins us live in the studio. Noble, just bring us up to speed on them.
Well, Beatrice, our sources are telling us that 34 police commanders have been reshuffled in Galamsey-prone areas in keeping with the promise to wage a relentless war on illegal mining activities in the country. So let me walk you through some of the affected commands. They include Takrade, Asakagwa and Takwa, all in the western region, Karie and Bekwai in the Ashanti region, and Nyinem and Nsawam in the eastern region. So the list confirmed through the sources. It features Assistant Commissioner of Police Jonathan Lamte of the Gambaga Divisional Command moving to take charge of the Takrade Divisional Command, while ACP Thomas Hosei Abebio, he's moving from the Asakagwa Divisional Command to head the Yendi Divisional Command in the northern region. Others are Samuel Stephen Okuno of the Northern Regional Headquarters. He has moved to the Bekwai Divisional Command. ASP Raymond Kofi Ezwa of the Takwa Divisional Command to take charge of the Pando Divisional Command in the Volta North region. There's also ACP Samuel Yebwa. He's moving from Pando Divisional Command to Esiama Divisional Command in the western region. And then Chief Superintendent Ebenezer Bensing, he is in charge of the Sawam District Command. He's moving to the Durampon Divisional Command in the central region. Chief Superintendent Vitus Napan leaving his post at the Inkaria Divisional Command to the Asakangwa Divisional Command, while Chief Superintendent Mohammed Yusuf is leaving the Regional Motor Traffic and Transport Department in the northern region to the Takwa Divisional Command in the western region. The list also has Chief Superintendent Daniel Anane Amwa. He is of the Takrade Divisional Command, moving to take charge at the Navrongo Divisional Command in the Upper East region. Chief Superintendent William Jamfi of the Mpohor District Command in the western region to the Doji District Command in the Volta region. Chief Superintendent Joshua Semenyo is moving from the Takrade District Command to the Inkaria Divisional Command. Superintendent Stephen Apia of the Aziama district in the Western region is moving to the Nsawam district command. And then Superintendent Kweku Ayepa, he's a staff officer of the Western Regional Command, is taking charge of the Bolga district command in the Upper East region. Superintendent Valentin Aposu is moving from Agunan Kwanta in the Western region to the Gushegu district in the Northern region. Superintendent Alexander Tiku of the Jamestown district command in the Ashanti region is moving to a named district command in the Eastern region. So
tallest over there.
Yes, these are just a few of the names who are moving, but mainly they are found in Galamsey prone areas. And it's not only the commanders as well. There's some staff within the command who are also doing the moving. Indeed.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby. And let me tell you that if you want the full list, you can go to or visit 3news.com and you'll find the full list of these individuals who have been transferred from Galamsey prone areas. And let's have a quick conversation with Daryl Bosso. He's Deputy Director Operations at Arusha, Ghana. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon to you as well.
Let me say,
I'm very happy to be here. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for your patience. First, let me get your reactions to your initial reaction to this move by the Inspector General of Police.
No, I think we are very excited that the IGP is taking steps to actually complement the fight by ensuring that we have the right people at the right places. I mean, I'm saying this because if you look at the way Galamsey has developed to a level where it's reached a crescendo with a lot of impunity, you will ask yourself whether there is any law enforcement agencies in our communities or in our district, in our regional offices. So seeing that now the IGP and the government is paying attention to what citizens have been saying and are going ahead to replace or reshuffle commanders, I think that is going to bring some new ideas, some new strategy to the fight. Because whether we like it or not, it is going to turn things around. Because the fact that people knew Galamsey was happening, they were watching, communities were struggling to get access to enforcement support and all of that. With the now, there's now an expectation on the various commanders that, look, if you go to an area and you don't perform, we are going to reshuffle you. I'm sure people are going to be more diligent at their work and ensure that they commit fully and address Galamsey wherever they are posted to. So we are very excited. And, I mean, we did in the past months make some specific recommendation for replacement of DCOP George Boedi Bosman, Eastern South Police Command, and also ACP Renan Sam, all in the Chebi area. We are yet to see them, reshuffled, but I guess, as has been said, this is the first batch of reshuffling that we are going to be hearing of. So we're looking forward to the others to see that the right thing is done. And I think it's a good step in the right direction.
Indeed, a good step in the right direction, you say. And this is an IGP who says that he's committed to the fight against illegal mining. Beyond the reshuffles, what else do you expect from him to show that indeed he wants to help, everybody to deal with this menace?
I think the other thing that we've also realized is important is maybe some of this will follow within the purview of the Interior Ministry, but I think the intelligence services within the police should also be deployed. The CID and all of that should also be made to be working on the ground. I understand from the minister's press conference yesterday, it was guided by a lot of intelligence work on the ground. So I think that the police also, the fact that they are on the ground, they can also gather a lot of intelligence information that can significantly help the work of the police commanders that have been posted to these new areas to ensure that the right thing is done. I think we need to complement the leadership with very strong intelligence services on the ground to ensure that the complementary action can lead to really giving the police some really good information for them to act upon and get to the big wigs who are really financing the Galamsey, as it was stipulated in Act 995 and the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act. So I think we really need to now look at how we complement the right men on the ground with intelligence to get things, give us very desired results.
Thank you so much, Daryl Bosso, for speaking to us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And you had Dariboso, his Deputy Director of Operations at Arusha, Ghana. Now, the minority in Parliament has accused the government of endangering Ghana's mining sector with a string of harmful policies. In a letter dated 21st April 2025, the opposition warned that the new measures will stifle growth, repel foreign investment, and trigger job losses. The letter, addressed to the Ministers for Finance and Lands and Natural Resources, called the recent decisions, quote-unquote, potentially dire for Ghana's economy. It was signed by Kojo Ponkroma, ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee, Kweku Ampretrum Sapon, ranking member on the Lands and Natural Resources Committee, and Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, ranking member on the Finance Committee. The MPs criticized two new tax measures, a 3% growth and sustainability levy on gross mining volumes introduced in 2025, and another levy set to take effect from 2026 to 2028. The group also argued that miners of other minerals who have not seen price hikes are being unfairly burdened by the taxes. Even more alarming to the group is the new Gold Board Act, which bans foreign entities from trading and exporting gold. They say it sends the wrong message to investors and violates the 1992 Constitution. The minority also condemned the government's refusal to renew Goldfields Ghana's diamond mine release and argued it undermined investor confidence and discourages long-term commitment. Another concern was the government's decision to defund 80% of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, MRIF, a key vehicle for Ghana's equity participation in mining. The minority sees this as a retreat from the country's ambition to take a meaningful stake in its resources. The group also raised alarm about a violent attack at a mining site that left 8 dead, further stating that the attack was fueled by anti-investor rhetoric and stalled investigation only deepens investor fears. Finally, the minority group slammed the recent abolition of community mining scheme, saying it has created room for illegal mining, and argued the scheme should be regulated, not scrapped. And once the lease renewals restored, hostile rhetoric toned down, and a clear strategy to support local mining firms put in place. Some 17 minutes past the hour of 12. This is the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. Now, Health Minister Kwabena Minta Kando is this afternoon paying a surprise visit to the Tamale Teaching Hospital following myriads of complaints about non-functioning units of the hospital, aside from concerns of poor service delivery. Now, at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where the minister started his tour, there was a near altercation with a senior staff at the accident and emergency unit. I want you to listen to this, and then we'll cross over to our correspondent who has more for us.
Me that there's one here and there's a staff. Yes. The staff also have one here, and that's why you brought me here to come and see. Yes. Is that not the point? Meanwhile, it's not accessible to the patient.
No, it's only accessible when the tap's open. So that's the situation. So for a while now, water hasn't been flowing in there. And that's why I wanted you to see. You see that there are sachets. People enter there and they use sachet water and then just dump it there. And that's the situation.
At least, even if it is not being used, you can clean the place and lock it.
There's no water.
No, you can clean the place and lock.
There's no water to scrub the place.
You don't have water to do anything. You can make arrangement for the tankers, yes. the tankers to bring water. And so you don't have that arrangement. Dr. Tig, you are telling me that you can't have water for this place to run this facility?
No, we get.
This is Dr. Valentine. He's the HOD of the emergency. And one night, we didn't have water at the emergency, and he himself got them to get the yellow barrels to come and bring water for the nurses to work. So, at our level, sometimes my HOD does his best.
Yes, I agree. And I'm the first person to admit that there are challenges with respect to water in Tamale. But that's why you're a leader here, that's why you're a CEO here. Not until we resolve the issue completely. I've been on the committee for a very long time, and we have always been talking about this. And we think, we know that you have a way of providing water for the facility until we solve the issue permanently. And that is what you have been briefing us. We know that the Tamale water challenge goes beyond the facility. It's well known in the country and all that. But you cannot tell me that, because if you are not very careful, people come here and pick the diseases from here and go home. That's what it is. And you know, we are a medical doctor.
Yes, sir.
So they will come here because there's no water. The person is sick. He comes here and picks the disease and he goes home with the disease.
So you had that interaction there. Christopher Mwako joins us live on the line. Chris, just tell us what started this altercation.
Yes, so the minister, having arrived at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, was taking around some of the units.
Christopher, I'm so sorry. Christopher, I'm sorry. I will have to come back to you. We need to cross over now to the venue where they're launching ECOWAS at 50 because President John Mahama is about to speak. Please, I'll get back to you, Chris.
President, His Excellency Nana Adu Dankwa Akufo-Addo, representative of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nigeria, Her Excellency the Prime Minister of Togo, the Honorable Minority Leader representing the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, our traditional authorities, our Honorable Minister of Foreign Affairs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and let me stand on established protocol. It is with great pride and honor that I welcome you all to Accra for the launch of the 50th anniversary celebration of the Economic Community of West African States. Today is not just a celebration, it is a solemn moment of reflection on our collective journey and an invitation to renew our commitment to the principles that have bound us together for half a century in unity, peace, regional integration, and above all, diplomacy as our guiding compass. Your Excellency, ECOWAS was born out of a spirit of bold diplomatic engagement in 1975. Our founding fathers, faced with fragmented economies and fragile political landscapes, chose the path of cooperation over competition and rivalry. Their vision was clear. It was one to pursue our development not as isolated nations, but as a united community. Since then, ECOWAS has grown to become a key diplomatic and political force in Africa. Through consistent engagement, dialogue, and mediation, our community has earned a reputation as a trusted arbiter in conflict prevention and resolution. Whether it has been in restoring peace in Liberia and Sierra Leone, in guiding the Gambia through a difficult political transition, or preventing electoral crisis in Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, ECOWAS has proven that African solutions through African diplomacy can and do work. We must not take this legacy lightly. It is one we must protect. It is one we must deepen and refine in the face of new and emerging challenges. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today our region is faced with a complex array of threats: violent extremism, growing insecurity in the Sahel, political instability, economic disparities, and climate vulnerabilities. In moments like these, diplomacy and solidarity must remain our first and strongest line of defense. The recent decision by Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to withdraw from ECOWAS is a regrettable development. Yet, even in this, continuous engagement must remain our lodestar. We must respond not with isolation or recrimination, but with understanding, dialogue, and a willingness to listen and to engage. Since assuming office as president, I've prioritized diplomatic re-engagement with our Sahelian neighbors. Ghana has appointed a special envoy to initiate high-level conversations with the Alliance of Sahel States. I've personally led missions to foster trust, rebuild communication channels, and affirm our shared aspirations. These efforts reflect our belief that we have a shared destiny as a sub-region, and that unity, however difficult, remains the best path to shared prosperity and regional stability. Ghana stands ready to serve as the bridge to help reknit the fabric of West African unity. We believe that through sustained dialogue, patient diplomacy, and principled negotiation, we can restore cohesion and rebuild trust in our community. This period, ladies and gentlemen, calls for even greater solidarity and understanding for the difficult challenges that confront our brothers in the Sahelian states. Diplomacy is not only about resolving disputes, it's about creating the conditions for peace, for inclusion and progress. It is about fostering mutual respect and advancing our common interests. In this regard, our commitment to integration through diplomacy must extend to economic, social, and cultural dimensions, whether we are harmonizing trade negotiations, whether we are facilitating free movement of our people, or championing education and health cooperation. Our diplomatic instruments must always work in the service of our people. We must empower ECOWAS institutions to act swiftly, credibly, and transparently. Our citizens must feel that ECOWAS is not some distant bureaucracy, but a living community that understands their struggles and champions their hopes. And let us never forget the power of soft diplomacy. Our shared languages, our music, our literature, and youth culture. These are powerful tools that bind us together more deeply than any treaty can. And I wish to commend the young people who gave that wonderful performance here. Distinguished guests, let this 50th anniversary be a turning point for diplomacy in West Africa. Let us invest more in early warning systems, mediation capacities, and youth and women as peace builders. Let us position our sub-region ECOWAS not only as a political and economic bloc, but as a diplomatic anchor for the continent, a model of integration, dialogue, and peaceful coexistence. To mark this moment and strengthen regional bonds, Ghana is offering 1,000 scholarships to tertiary students from across the ECOWAS sub-region to study in our universities. This is not just a gesture, it is an act of solidarity. It is a bridge to a future where our young people will grow up seeing each other not as foreigners, but as partners. Excellencies, as we look to the next 50 years, let unity and solidarity lead us. Let that be our guide on how we respond to insecurity, how we manage our diversity, and how we build our prosperity together. ECOWAS must remain a forum for listening. It must be a space for healing, a home for visionary African-led solidarity and diplomacy. Ghana reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the ECOWAS vision and to the values of dialogue, peace, and partnership that sustain it. Long live ECOWAS, long live West African solidarity, and I thank you for your kind attention.
And you had President John Mahama giving his remarks there at the ongoing launch of the ECOWAS at 50. If you're just joining us, some 28 minutes past the hour of 12, let me run you through a few things he said. He said that there's a need to respond to issues within ECOWAS with engagement and not withdrawal, and talked about his efforts towards engaging the Sahelian neighbors, and that Ghana is a bridge for African unity and cohesion. There's also the need for understanding of our neighbors in the Sahelian state through diplomacy and mutual respect. And also there's a need for us to position ECOWAS well, not just economic and political bloc. And also as part of this, his government has given scholarship to some 1,000 students to have the opportunity to study in the university. And talking about that, Ghanaian students studying in Hungary say they are facing a severe financial crisis after 11 months unpaid stipends by the previous government. In a press conference, they explained that they are unable to cope with the rising cost of living in Hungary, particularly rent, which is 3 times the rent allowance they receive from the Hungarian government. Many of these students are stranded, and they are calling on the government to come to their aid. We'll bring you more of that story in our subsequent bulletins, as well as what happened at the Tamale Teaching Hospital with the Health Minister. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Log on to shrinews.com for more news. My name is Beatrice Adu. Good afternoon.